And that is. Hey, Jill, one last thing I want to talk about is when we talk about this future proof, and you kind of mentioned on this earlier, what kind of role does resiliency play in that partnership between HR and finance in serving SMB businesses?
Mm, that's a good question. Um, I think probably, if anything, most recently taught us that lesson was COVID, right? You're going to face so
Absolutely.
many ups and downs, whether it be, industry driven, whether it be, um, like a pandemic, whether it be, there's all these different variables that you're going to, and challenges that you're going to come up against that you didn't plan for, right? That you didn't have a contingency for. So I think you really have to be, resilient. You really have to be, I like what you said earlier about like partnerships and collaboration. Like, you really have to have these great relationships and be able to have open dialogue and conversations. I was actually just talking to my mom this morning about this. Like, I think so much of what I've learned over my career is like, I have a vision in mind of like how I want my day to go, how I want something to work out, how I'm going to work through a situation. Does it ever happen the way that I want it to, or the way that I plan it to? No. So like, I have to become comfortable and okay with that, and to be able to continue to move on and get through that. Right. So I just had to tell myself that today. So it's a constant lesson.
Absolutely. And I think being a putting on my CEO hat, so me taking my CFO hat off and serving the business, that has been, I think, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in the 3 years of building Fresh FP&A is resiliency and being able. I think it comes back to like my boxing days when I used to be a boxer, right? When I used to fight, one thing that boxing has taught me, and it's become a superpower of mine, is boxing taught me the level of being calm, cool, and collective when chaos is happening, right? So when chaos is
Mm.
happening, I always found a way to keep a common baseline. And translating that over to building Fresh FP&A, that has been one of the biggest, I think, lessons that I've had to learn is you're going to constantly have difficulties, challenge, opportunities, positive wins, but to me, it's about keeping that
Mm.
baseline of how do you stay focused? How do you not let the highs be so high and the lows be so low, but you keep
Mm.
a common, consistent baseline as you're going through and building your business? And for SMB CEOs, business owners, and founders that are going back and through and looking at this, resiliency in your organization, a lot of that confidence that you'll get having that resiliency, it comes from the leaders that you have in place. It comes from having a great strategic
Mhm.
CFO partner to help you lead with financial clarity and confidence, right? It comes from having a great HR partner like Jill and Evolve HR to make sure you're developing the right culture, you're developing the right processes, and you're driving a people-led organization. So to me, I think like those are really, really key fundamental blocks in terms of building that resiliency inside of your journey.
Well, and you have to be willing to give yourself some grace too, right? And not be afraid to ask for help, right? You, like we said, you're not going to know everything, and you're not
Yeah.
going to be the expert in everything. And it's okay to reach out, to need that expertise, that support, that help, and to admit that you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, that's one of I think that's one of the biggest things, right? And when I like taking that and having that humility and just saying like, for me as example, I'm not the best like I'm pretty good at sales and marketing, but I'm not like the best at it. Like I'm not like I didn't go to school for it. I don't have 20 plus years in building marketing organizations. So I know that I can only scale my knowledge in a certain area so much, right? Then once you get to that point, then it becomes an opportunity cost, right? Now you're investing this extra time, energy, and effort into developing, maybe it's marketing or maybe it's HR, maybe it's finance, right? And as a leader, now you have that opportunity trade-off because now that time, energy, and effort can be focused on building a better product, which is where you're passionate about, or building a better sales organization, or building a better go-to-market strategy. So that's where that leadership and that expertise becomes really an accelerator for you, is because now you say, okay, I've got
Right.
Fresh FP&A in place. I've got Evolve HR to handle our finance, to handle our people operations. I feel really great about the leadership. I love our communication. I love the partnership that we have. My stress, that SMB CEO, owner, or founder, that stress level goes down. That clarity, that confidence that you have
Hmm.
now that repositions you to go focus on
Right.
the passionate areas inside of your business that you want to focus on. So, Jill, I think you have really highlighted and really stamped the fact that bringing on that leadership early on is super important as you continue to grow.